Hello viewers, I'm Guy on Couch, and this is my review show, where I'm going to be watching the first 5 episodes of an anime series to see if it'll hold my interest, or if I'm going to need to drink away the memories like my 21st birthday. Before we get started, let's take a look at the grading scale. True, can you throw that up for me? Fantastic. As you can see, I'm using a 5-point scale, ranging from the worst at asleep on the couch to the best on the edge of the seat. Now, as we said earlier, we're only going to be watching the first 5 episodes, so there's a lot of room for you guys to give us a few ideas of what to watch next. Be sure to leave a comment below to let us know what you want us to review. Now, those formalities out of the way, let's begin. Mobile Suit Gundam, Iron-Blooded Orphans. Now, not only is the Gundam franchise one of my favorites, but it's also got one of my favorite animes. No, not you, Gundam Wing. There we go. With Season 2 on Crunchyroll, I decided to give this one a look, just to see if it holds a candle to G. I don't like spoiling things, but here's the actual synopsis of the show, read in a dramatic fashion.
Roughly 300 years after the conclusion of the great conflict known as the Calamity War, the Earth sphere has lost its previous governing structure, and a new system of government has created a new world. Far away, seeds of new conflict are starting to form in the Maul sphere, when private security company Christ Guard Security accepts a mission to help liberate a Martian city from being ruled by one of Earth's major powers. A military organization attacks CGS to stop the rebellion before it gets off the ground. Some boys use this as a chance to revolt and lead a coup against the adults who have been oppressing them.
Should I be looking at the camera? Now, let's get the ball rolling with pacing. This series, at least the episodes I watched, handles its pacing pretty well. I didn't get bored at any point, and I got to see a lot of fun little nods towards the Gundam franchise that I personally very appreciate. Unfortunately, it is a little formulaic. It seems to follow this structure where one episode will set up the major conflict and action for the next episode to come, so you can almost always expect that once one big action sequence has happened, the next episode's probably going to be a calmer, quieter episode. Very least, though, it's not as bad as Supernatural, where you spend most of your time wondering which brother's going to sacrifice themselves for the other one, and which one's going to die to resurrect him. This season, it's Dean, by the way. The show has a real way of maintaining the tension for the season, particularly on the characters, and it really translates well to the audience, at least for me. You won't find yourself going to Facebook just because there's a lull in action. Why don't we switch to characters? Now, I'm not going to go down the list of every main character, side character, mobile suit, weird tank tread robot. No. I'm going to just talk about the ones that I find kinda interesting or at least seem important to the story. If you want that other stuff, just hit up Wikipedia. Capiche? Alright, let's start with the first one. Mikazuki. Now, this kid's kind of all over the place for me. Sociopathic, blunt, no problem taking a life. And yet he understands the richness and complexity of human emotion despite seemingly not having any himself. He's just really off-putting to me, especially with that damn bracelet. It's not a flower. Stop sniffing it. Or he's kind of the older brother to this ragtag group of kids. If you ask me, I think he's the real protagonist. Why, you might ask? Because I said so. Also, because he seems to be, other than Biscuit, the only one that uses logic or critical thinking when he makes decisions. Okay, I take that back. Maybe he's just the most loud and ambitious one of the group. But still, he shows some emotional development, and it seems like he's got some promise for the rest of the series. Christ could do. Honestly, there's not much to say about it. Well, except for the fact that she reminds me of pretty much every blonde, princess, Gundam noblewoman archetype. Biscuit. This one's one of my favorites, whether it's because of his purpose in protecting his family, or maybe it's because of his brains, having to deal with every ridiculous back-asswards plan that Orga throws at him. Maybe it's his patience, much like a saint. Or maybe it's because he's the most empathic character on the show. I'm not sure. I'll tell you one thing. He's a lot like Dale from The Walking Dead. Spoiler warning, I've never seen The Walking Dead. Crank. Now this is a man. Not just any man. He's a man of morals, loyalty, and an understanding of war and what it does to the human spirit. Crank is what I would call a classic Gundam antagonist. But more than that, it's his actions that really set all this shit downhill. If it wasn't for him, most of this show wouldn't be happening. Furry, blonde, child marrying, very political, starting to sound familiar. I'm gonna wager he's the Char of this series. Let's talk action. Now, the Gundam franchise is full of action-packed fight sequences between hot-blooded pilots in their mobile suits, but this one's just not at the same level that I'm used to, at least in these first few episodes. I found myself more interested in the ground units like the tanks and treaded robots than I was at really looking at the mobile suits in action. Simply put, the animation got a little lazy when it came to the mobile suits, particularly in episode 3. But overall, the show delivers a pretty good sense of action. Now, for the story. As I mentioned before, the writing can get a little formulaic, with the problems of the 2-episode arc rarely extending into the other episodes, unless, of course, they are major plot lines. But there's one thing that makes it unique, and it's how the characters deal with the consequences of this world and their actions. Orphans conveys the aftermath of the war-torn and politically unstable environment in such a way that it shows off the human element in a new way each time. It's not without its faults. It really hits you over the head with the whole old versus young thing. Pretty much, if you're young, you're on the protagonist's side. If you're old, you're on the bad guy's side, and you're probably corrupt. Make me wonder, is there no gray area? Where are the middle-aged people? What do they want? Call your congressman. Big picture time. While there's a few parts that are lacking, overall I feel like this is a proud addition to the Gundam name, and there's a number of shoutouts to the other Gundam series that I personally found very satisfying. Plus, the lore about the universe, the kids, and how they link to the suits really got my science juices flowing. The growth and characterization that occurs throughout these first 5 episodes is pretty solid, with each character making interesting choices based on the actions they've taken thus far. Speaking of action, it picks up a lot towards that 5th episode, which makes me feel like the ones upcoming might just up the ante. Plus, we get to see Biscuit's war face. God, that is a man, unbridled fury, hidden beneath brains and potato chips. I'm gonna give Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans a 4 out of 5. While I wasn't exactly in the edge of my seat, I'm very eager to see where it goes. But before we go anywhere, I'm going to give you my top 5 predictions for this show. Alright. Number 1, secret functions of the Gundam will be discovered. It's a classic. They know nothing about this ancient weapon. Oh look, now it has a super mode. Happens every time. Number 2, cute characters like Biscuit's family will either die or be traumatized. It's another Gundam classic. Too often the innocents are destroyed by the difficulties of war. Number 3, Ein is going to miss the entire point that Crank was making. I'm just talking the whole thing. I'm gonna be surprised if he makes it through the season, honestly. Number 4. Eugene is gonna die. Enough said. And number 5. Farid is definitely the Char of this universe. Have you seen that guy's hair? And he's just got enigmatic written all over. If him and Cordelia end up being related, my head will explode. Not from surprise, just that they have done the same thing like a million times. Well folks, that's going to do it for today's review. Tune in next time when we review yet another anime series. Not the whole thing, just the first 5 episodes. I don't have time for that shit in my life. Which one are we going to review? Well, leave a comment down below and let us know what you'd want us to look at. Till then, keep living that couch life, viewers.